War. War never changes. But who started the Great War? The one that led to the events of the Fallout series. In this video, we'll explain the events that led up to the Great War and tell you who actually started the conflict in the first place. The Fallout games hit you right in the intro with that booming voice.
War never changes.
Ron Perlman, the guy who narrates most of the games, totally nails that line, by the way. It's a pretty grim reminder that people have been blowing things up since, well, forever. This all came to a head on October 23rd, 2077 in a 2-hour nightmare called the Great War. Nukes rained down, leaving the world a scarred wasteland. Most folks who survived scrambled underground into those fancy vaults. We don't actually see the war itself in the games, but we can dig through the lore to find what went down. So buckle up, because things were not looking sunshine and rainbows even before the bombs fell. Cut to the science lab. Remember World War II? Yeah, that nasty one where they dropped those atom bombs. Well, after that, scientists started thinking about the good side of nuclear power. Imagine a world where everything, from cars to robots, runs on clean nuclear fusion energy. But here's the catch. The more this tech advanced, the hungrier it got for resources. And guess what? Those resources were, well, running out. So much for that utopian dream. Fast forward to 2052. By this time, good old-fashioned resources like oil were drying up faster than a Nuka-Cola Quantum at a Raider convention. The two biggest bullies on the block, America and China, were in a mad dash to grab what was left. In 2059, the Americans got really defensive about their Alaskan oil fields and set up a military base called the Anchorage Front Line, but China wasn't playing along. By 2066, they waltzed right in and stole those resources. Luckily, Uncle Sam wasn't going down without a fight. General Chase led the US Army to take back Anchorage. However, this little spat, now known as the Sino-American War, was costing everyone a fortune and seemed like it would never end. Then, on October 23rd, 2077, things went nuclear, literally. On this day in 2077, also known as Meltdown Monday to some folks with a dark sense of humor, things got real. At 9:13 a.m. Eastern Time, those fancy early warning systems started blaring that nukes were coming. Nobody knew who fired first, but the US wasn't taking any chances. By 9:26 a.m., they followed their war plan, scenario MXC991, catchy, right? And launched their own nukes. It was all about mutually assured destruction, which basically means that everyone loses. For 2 whole hours, the world became a scene straight out of a nightmare, with nukes raining down everywhere. By the time the dust settled, the damage was done. The world we knew was gone, replaced by a wasteland. The Fallout TV show throws a bit of a curveball compared to the games. Here we actually get a decent look at life before the bombs fell. We meet some important folks at Vault-Tec, like Barb Howard and her husband, who seems a little suspicious, don't you think? But the real shocker is what Vault-Tec's big plan might have been. Apparently they weren't just building shelters. They were aiming for a total wasteland takeover with a project called Bud's Buds. This genius plan, masterminded by Bud Askins, senior junior vice president no less, involved Vaults 31, 32, and 33. Here's the twist though. These vaults would become one giant breeding ground for, well, let's just say, super Vault-Tec fans. Over time, important Vault-Tec execs would be thawed from their cryosleep chambers and paired off to make future generations of loyal Vault-Tec citizens. Basically, they wanted to repopulate the Earth with their own perfect little Vault-Tec society, a true monopoly on the New World Order. Talk about ambitious. So how did Vault-Tec plan to pull off this whole perfect society thing? Well, they weren't shy about teaming up with other bigwigs. Imagine a board meeting with all the shady corporations like Big MT, those science freaks that are always up to something. West-Tec, the folks who brought you super mutants, thanks a lot. Repcon, probably selling fancy new shovels for digging out of the apocalypse. And even Robco, with the one and only Mr. House himself. You'll meet him in Fallout New Vegas if you haven't already. To sell their fancy vaults to the public, Vault-Tec enlisted the help of a famous Hollywood actor, Cooper Howard, also Barb's husband. Interesting, right? Cooper starred in a cheesy commercial for Vault-Tec's Vault 4, which, by the way, turned out to be a hotbed for some seriously messed up experiments. Classic Vault-Tec. Oh, and fun fact, Cooper Howard is also the reason Vault Boy, their mascot, always gives a thumbs up sign. The Fallout TV show also throws in a bit of a twist with a secret resistance movement against Vault-Tec. These rebels, led by a cold fusion scientist who later becomes a big shot in the NCR after the war, meet up in a creepy spot, Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Speaking of cold fusion, Vault-Tec seems to have been playing a double game. They bought up all the research on this clean energy source, probably to keep it out of everyone else's hands. Maybe they figured a never-ending war meant more profits from those vaults. But this begs the question, who started it all? Well, buckle up because here's where things get messy. The games never tell us exactly who fired the first nukes, and that's probably on purpose. But hey, that doesn't stop us from digging for clues, right? Before we get to the first theory about who started the Great War though, I want to take a quick moment to talk about mental health. Life in the wasteland is tough, even before the bombs fell. Resource scarcity, constant threats, and the overall bleakness of the world can weigh heavily on anyone. But you wastelanders don't have to go it alone. BetterHelp, the sponsor of today's video, is an online therapy service that can connect you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice, all from the comfort of your own home, vault, or wherever you might be scraping by. They offer affordable plans and a variety of specialties, so you can find the right therapist to help you navigate the challenges of the wasteland, or, real life. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. It's honestly the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. You'll be matched with one usually within 48 hours, so you can get started really fast too. Head over to BetterHelp using my link in the description to learn more and get a special discount on your first month. They might not be able to offer radiation treatment, but they can definitely help you with the mental side effects of surviving the apocalypse. Again, that's betterhelp.com/RocketRiley, or choose Rocket Riley during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. And now back to the Great War and the finger pointing that's been going on for centuries. Theory number 1 for who launched the first nukes points the finger at China. This makes sense because tensions between the US and China were already sky high after their whole fight over Alaska in the Sino-American War. Neither side could really claim victory there, and Fallout 2 throws some evidence on this fire. President Dick Richardson himself suggests China surprised everyone with a preemptive nuclear strike on October 23, 2077. There are even hints scattered around computer terminals in Fallout 4 that seem to show Chinese airplanes might have been involved. Looks like China might be the culprit. Or are they? Another theory takes things in a whole new direction. Enter P.A.M, a fancy robot introduced in Fallout 4. P.A.M's job was to predict if other countries were about to launch nukes, kind of like a superpowered fortune teller for war. Now, P.A.M had access to tons of information, but there's always a chance things could go sideways with machines, right? Some folks believe P.A.M freaked out and made a huge mistake. The theory is that P.A.M cooked up some fake news about an incoming attack, sending the US into a frenzy and starting the whole nuclear war mess. Was P.A.M to blame, or was it just a glitch in the system? The jury's still out on this one. The Fallout world wasn't exactly sunshine and rainbows before the bombs fell though. There were tons of other conflicts brewing besides the China-US showdown. Remember Canada? Yeah, the US basically took it over. Plus, there was this whole war going on between Europe and the Middle East over scraps of resources. With all this chaos, it makes you wonder if someone else saw an opportunity. Maybe another country like Russia, North Korea, or even Mexico sat back and said, hey, those two superpowers are about to destroy each other. Why don't we just let them? Then whoever was left standing could swoop in and pick up the pieces. Sounds pretty messed up, right? The problem is, there's not a ton of proof to back this theory up. It's more like whispering in the dark corridors of the wasteland. But hey, in a world filled with giant mutated ants and bottle cap currency, anything's possible. The Fallout TV show throws another wrench into the works with this theory. Remember Barb Howard, the smooth-talking Vault-Tec exec? Well, in one scene she gets a little intense. She basically says that to make sure their fancy vaults become the foundation of a perfect new world, Vault-Tec might have to be the ones to light the match and start the war themselves. This whole idea seems pretty outlandish, and even some fans don't take it as gospel. After all, Barb might have just been stressed out and saying something crazy to convince investors their vaults were worth the money. Plus, it doesn't exactly make sense that Barb's own family would be stuck outside a vault when the bombs fell. But wait, there's more. Leaked info from a canceled Fallout movie suggests Vault-Tec honchos might have actually planned the whole thing. According to this story, they would have launched the first nukes to fulfill some crazy prophecy. So is Vault-Tec the real villain here? We may never know for sure, but this next theory is really out there. Remember that Fallout 3 add-on where you get abducted by aliens? Yeah, that wasn't exactly a normal Tuesday for the Lone Wanderer. Since aliens exist in the Fallout world, some folks believe they might have had a hand in starting the war. We don't know exactly what these creepy aliens were up to before the bombs fell, but there are some hints that they were poking around with humans. Maybe they even got their hands on some launch codes. There's also a whisper of a rumor about soldiers being mind-controlled by aliens and forced to launch the nukes. Now, none of this is confirmed, but again, in a world with super mutants and talking deathclaws, anything is possible, especially when it comes to those shady aliens. Alright, we've looked at all the finger-pointing theories flying around the wasteland, and the truth is, we might never know for sure who launched the first nukes. China seems to be the top suspect based on clues in the games, and even series creator Tim Kaine himself said so. But hey, maybe other countries or even Vault-Tec saw a chance to grab power in the chaos. The Fallout TV show throws Vault-Tec right in the spotlight as a potential culprit, but it doesn't give us a definitive answer. Even the US might be shady. Who knows, maybe they just saw the war coming and wanted to strike first. In the end, the mystery of who started the Great War might never be totally solved. With Season 2 of Fallout on the way, there's always hope we'll get some more clues. So stay tuned, Wastelanders. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.